Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001. But most importantly, as always, we are booking the invasion angle. Before we can get to SummerSlam, which will be uploaded today, I made that promise and I plan to keep it. But before we get to SummerSlam, we got to go through Sunday Night Heat, and I'm actually really excited to do this Heat, and it's not because anything really special is going on. I mean, we are going to see an end to a rivalry, but that's really about it. But the reason why I'm excited to do this Heat, and this goes for the future Heats as well, is if anyone remembers, like back in the WWF era, Invasion era, the era we're in now practically. I don't remember when they stopped doing it, but I always remember on pay-per-views, and I remember specifically for Invasion. Invasion is one of my favorite pay-per-views. I own it on VHS. I remember a lot about it. I remember like Scotty 2 Hotty losing to, I want to say, Chavo Guerrero. Don't quote me on that. I remember him losing to him losing to Chavo or someone on Sunday Night Heat before Invasion. I remember Invasion quite a lot. So basically what I'm trying to get at here is usually for the pay-per-views on Sunday Night Heat, because it did air on Sundays, obviously, that they kind of had like a special version of Sunday Night Heat where they had a lot of, promos and stuff being cut by a lot of the bigger name guys like Stone Cold, Rock, Vince McMahon, so on and so forth. Had a lot of, promos being cut by the bigger guys to help promote the pay-per-view, hoping people who are watching Sunday Night Heat would be like, you know what, I do want to watch that match, or I want to watch this pay-per-view. And they just rent the entire thing. They shell out the money for it. So, this wasn't our first pay-per-view, and I don't think I did this for Judgment Day, unfortunately. But from now on, I am going to try to make, the pay-per-views kind of be like the pre-show to what a WWE pay-per-view is now, where we'll see, a kind of like a feud that's been going on in the background, close out, and also, some, promos from a lot of the bigger guys to promote the event coming up. Either way, though, now that I got that all, I hope I made some sense there. We had one locker room incident, a positive one. This time, The Undertaker passing along tips on the microphone to his protege, Mark Jindrak. So, the dead man really has faith in Mark Jindrak now that I think about it. He's always seems to be passing along something to him, so that's pretty cool. Either way, let's go ahead and run Sunday Night Heat. Of course, it is Sunday Night Heat, so this is weird. There is no, I don't know why it did this. Did I accidentally? Let me go back, nerds and geeks. I know I don't do this too often, but I feel like I might have messed up somewhere, so, oh no, there are some people on screen. Oh boy. Let's fix this real quick. So we are going to go into some of the technical stuff here. I always forget to do this. I did not mean for any of those guys to be on screen, so let's go ahead and take some of these guys off screen. That way it doesn't do that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and book this in real quick. So we're going a little bit behind the scenes here. I messed up, and I have to redo this. But this was just supposed to be a simple, hype video, at the beginning to highlight the main feuds for Sunday Night Heat. So let's go ahead and put that in for 10 minutes. Oh boy, that's right. Should have taken it out first. I guess it really doesn't matter. Everyone's looking at the card now. You jerks. Stop looking at the card. Just because I messed up. Now we look at that. We have too much. Alright. Now let's proceed. Alright, so we got an A rating. Doesn't really change too much, but no one was on screen. Like I said, just a highlight package. Kind of the one that will most likely be shown before SummerSlam. WWE used to do it. I don't think they do it too often now. Maybe they've restarted doing it. But they kind of show like a hype package of all the big feuds that are going to be happening at the pay-per-view before the pay-per-view. That's kind of what this is, basically. So we got an A. It's highlighting, Benoit versus Angle. It's highlighting Triple H versus Austin, highlighting Rock versus DDP, and Jericho versus Booker T. I was going to put Shane and Vince in here, but I figured, with 3 out of the 4 feuds we're highlighting being WCW versus WWF, it kind of, goes along where I didn't really have to put in Vince and Shane McMahon. So it gets the show off to a great start, and that moves on to, I believe, our first opening match of the night. Gets a D+ in a terrible match. Mark Jindrak defeating Gangrel with the mark of perfection once again. As always, nerds and geeks, I say this almost every SummerSlam. I either want to always try to use a local talent or a superstar from developmental. Gangrel, Vampire Warrior on the independent scene, is local to the IO Knapp Center. This is kind of stupid. We probably should have held this at the pay-per-view, but we wouldn't have filled out that venue either way. But we're not going to be here at the, at SummerSlam. So let's just pretend we're at whatever arena SummerSlam's at. But either way, Gangrel is from this part of the town, so I figured, well, I'm trying to make, some Sunday Night Heat be like a WCW, WWF kind of feud thing going on. So why don't we have Mark Jindrak, who is kind of our pet project right now, because Undertaker has taken him under his wing as his protege. Why don't we have Jindrak go over a former WWF talent, and just so happened, Gangrel was the one I chose. I think there was somebody else, but I really wasn't sold on them. And right when I saw Gangrel, I was like, yes! The only thing that worried me was Gangrel actually has simmering tension, I believe it was, with Vince McMahon, but we were still able to negotiate him for a one-night deal, so that makes me wonder if I wanted to, which obviously I can tell you right now I don't want to, because look at what he did. Gangrel's not as good as I would think if Mark Jindrak is rated better than him in the ring. Then again, I guess it is based on popularity. Maybe Jindrak's a little bit more popular, but either way, I'm interested to see and I might do this after the show or after I'm done recording, to see if I'm actually able to hire Gangrel. Who knows? It did cool the crowd a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, it's coming off an A angle. So we move on to a C-, and we see Steven Richards alongside Val Venus in The Good Father. He's just cutting a promo tonight on the Dudley Boyz and Edge. So he says, well, tonight is the night. Finally, tonight is the night that the right to censor put an end to those, it doesn't make much sense for him to say, the D word. So we're actually going to make him say those darn Dudleys. And that as an added plus, we also get to put an edge to Edge and his frat boy humor and constant sexual innuendos. You started this, Dudleys. You know what? Sure, I'll admit it. I'd be lying if I didn't. If I said that our past back in ECW doesn't really have much to do with my hatred of you, because let's just say the past speaks volumes. But you know what? After what you darn Dudleys did to Ivory, and yet you guys hold a grudge against us for what we did to poor Widow Spike? Huh. You know what that is, my old friends? That is what we call revenge. And tonight, we finish the job and avenge Ivory once and for all. So just a right to censor promo. Richards with, of course, Val Venus and Godfather, hyping up what will be the end of the feud between the Dudleys and the right to censor. And that's what I was kind of hinting at earlier, where we're always going to have like a minor feud, which will most likely end on Sunday Night Heat. C- isn't too bad. We then go to another C-, and we have Shane McMahon. He's backstage with Billy Kidman, the WCW Cruiserweight Champion. And we see Chavo Guerrero, as Shane looks like he's about to start talking to him. Chavo Guerrero Jr., he walks in and he says, "Hey guys, I saw you walk in, and I figured you guys were talking about, our big title match tonight. And, I figured I should be here for that." And then Shane kind of looks at Chavo and he's like, yeah, that's actually why we are in here. I mean, this match is big, Chavo. This match is a unification match. The first of what will be many unification match for both the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship and the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. WCW needs to win this. Dean Malenko has hand-selected 3 of the best former Light Heavyweight Champions, which is why I have to hand-select 3 of the best former Cruiserweight champions. And Chavo, I hate to say it, but you're not going to be in this match tonight. And then Chavo says, what? But Shane, you need me in this match. I'm a Guerrero. I'm a former Cruiserweight champion. Who else can you put in the match? And then Shane says, well, you see, Chavo, I don't need you, to be blunt. You may be a Guerrero, but you have not been a fighting warrior as of late. Despite after all the opportunities I've given you, you just had a match against Big Show on SmackDown, and hell, you even had a shot at Dean Malenko's light heavyweight championship. If I can be blunt, Chavo, and now we got to pull up our notepad here. If I can be blunt, Chavo, not only have you been a major disappointment to WCW, but you've also been a disappointment to the Guerrero name. And I have no room for disappointments. So to put it simple, not only have you been replaced in tonight's six-pack challenge match, I don't know what we would call it, but you know what else? You're fired. Now, if you don't mind, get out of my office. And I remember, probably like Chavo, being a little irritated before, like, Gregory Helms maybe steps in and gets a little bit of more heel work to, I don't know, pushes Chavo out or something. Either way, the gist of the angle being here is Shane was about to have a meeting with Gregory Helms, who is the Cruiserweight champion, and Billy Kidman, who in Shane's eyes, of course, is deserving to be in this championship match, when we have Chavo Guerrero come walking in. And, of course, Chavo believes he's going to be in the match because, honestly, we only really have 3 of WCW Cruiserweights, which is right here. And Chavo, he thinks he's going to be in the match, but apparently Shane has found a replacement for Chavo, who is a former Cruiserweight champion. And not only that, but he pretty much is just, he's sick of Chavo, and he's sick of being disappointed, so he went ahead and he fired him. So Chavo Guerrero isn't a WCW guy. He ain't a WWF guy, at least right now. And right now, he's just kind of floating in the water. Technically, he doesn't have a job at all. Of course, the performance of Shane McMahon was fantastic. No improvements, so nothing else really to say here. We then go on to a C-, and a bout that had decent wrestling, but not much weight and heat. The team of Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty, Too Cool, defeated Chronic when Rikishi defeated Bryan Adams with the Rump Shaker. So, of course, Rikishi was injured in this match, but I didn't really have anything else in mind. I wasn't sure who to put in what, so I figured, let's just have, and I think I put this in the Road Age notes if we can see it. We told Rikishi to keep it simple. That way he didn't really get too injured. You can see right here he was slowed by his injury. But other than that, him and Chronic all had C's in the ring, so they were all pretty good. And Scotty 2 Hotty not far behind with a D+, so it's about 2 grades behind, I believe. Either way, not too bad. Then we go to a B+. We see Vince McMahon. He's backstage with I almost said Bischoff. That is not a hint that Eric Bischoff is coming in or anything. I just want to make that clear. Don't get your hopes up because you're going to be disappointed. That wasn't a slip of the tongue where I accidentally messed up and revealed something big. No, that was simply a slip of the tongue. Either way, Vince McMahon, he's backstage with Big Show. When we see Chris Jericho walk in, and Jericho says, "Hey, boss man, heard you wanted to see me. You got any final words of encouragement before I go put Booker T down?" Vinston responds, "Hold on, let me take a drink. We all know the drill." Hurts my throat too much. Okay. "Other than win? No. But speaking of your match with Booker T tonight, Jericho, you see this is maybe I need another drink. I don't feel like this is the best Vince McMahon right now. All right, here we go. Let's do this. You see, you are at the disadvantage. Not only will there be a WCW ref officiating the match," my own voice came out there a little bit, "but I'm sure my bastard son will be out there in Booker T's corner. And as you've pointed out many times over the past couple of days, WCW isn't afraid to get involved in the match." This really isn't my best Vince McMahon, I'll be honest. Something's off. "Especially if your name is DDP. So that's why tonight, Jericho, I'm going to have Big Show accompany you to the ring, and he will be the special ringside enforcer. He will be out there to make sure nothing fishy happens in tonight's title match. He'll be out there to make sure no WCW guy gets involved. He'll be out there to make sure Shane McMahon doesn't get involved. He'll be out there to make sure the referee doesn't screw you over. And I don't really have much else to say. I didn't have Jericho or Big Show say anything. I just imagine, Vince kind of be happy while your camera pans to see Big Show looking down at Jericho, and Jericho just kind of like, all right, whatever, not too big. So Vince pretty much just a small angle here, revealing that later on tonight, Chris Jericho will be accompanied to the ring by the Big Show, and Big Show's going to be the special ring enforcer to ensure that nothing, fishy, as I said earlier, will go on during Jericho's match against Booker T for the WCW title. Of course, Kevin Kelly, Scott Hudson, and Taz's announcing was pretty weak. That's okay. It did get the crowd hotter, and the performance of Chris Jericho was good, and Big Show came out of this looking excellent. I think I rated Big Show on Menace, so that doesn't surprise me. God, I need another drink after that. Ooh, that Vince McMahon voice killed me. And then we end off Sunday Night Heat with a C+, and about that had decent wrestling, but not much away in heat. The Dudley Boyz and Edge defeating the Right 2 Censor, Richards, Val Venus, and the Good Father, in 11 minutes and 51 seconds, when Edge gets his win back from last week after Richards beat him by pitting Richards after hitting him with a spear. We also saw the return of Spike Dudley. So the way I'd see this match working out is the Right 2 Censor isn't really playing too fair. They're taking shortcuts. Of course, Richards doing the least amount of work, but he's the one that takes the pin. So the way I would imagine this happening is the Dudleys have kind of been laid out by now, while Richards is like distracting the referee, and they're like using illegal weapons, chairs, steps, whatever you want. Richards distracting the referee. Dudleys are getting taken out by Val Venus and the Good Father. And if you remember a few weeks back, the Right 2 Censor actually took out Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley makes his return to TV, where he comes out. And referee, of course, still distracted by by Steven Richards, which, Spike, I'd imagine, maybe running off the steps or something, does like a crossbody onto them, and probably hits like a Dudley dog through a table, which will then lead to like Val Venus or Good Father getting the 3D through the table from the Dudley Boyz, who are already up. And then Richards, of course, who is just like shocked of what just happened because he's trying to tell the referee to turn around, and the referee's like screaming at him, because whatever just happened. Turns around, Edge hits the spear, 1, 2, 3, and Edge and the Dudleys come out winning, and they're all celebrating. And then, of course, I'd imagine the announcers being all like, "We'll see you at SummerSlam, everybody," or something. So the match did deserve better announcing, unfortunately. It did gain this some heat, but that doesn't matter because we are going to be ending it after this. Both the Dudleys had a in-ring performance of a C+. Edge, as you can see here, it says even right there, he was head and shoulders above everybody else. He's at a B. Good Father's at a C-, as is the rest of the Right 2 Censor. Interesting. There is one angle I did want to do that I just remembered I forgot to put in. So let's just imagine that I put it in, if you guys can do that for me. I'm just going to tell you what it is right now. I wanted to have an angle where like Edge was getting ready for this match, and actually he's approached by a returning Christian, and Christian's just, like, "What are you doing, dude? Like why are you teaming with the Dudleys? Blah, 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 blah." Edge and him kind of go back and forth, like, they needed another partner. You were out, so I figured, why not team up with them? Help them out a little bit, and Ed and Christian probably being like, "Why would you help them out? They're two of our enemies," or something, blah, 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 blah. And then Christian kind of be like, "Well, you know what, while you're down here on Sunday Night Heat getting ready, to team up with the Dudleys, I'm going to be at SummerSlam doing bigger things when I become the new WWF Light Heavyweight Champion." So not only are we seeing the return of Christian, but it also hypes up the pay-per-view a little bit more by revealing that Christian will be in the Light Heavyweight title match later on tonight, and that Dean Malenko did hand select him. So Godfather's improving in performance as well. We can end the show. We get a B-. That's actually pretty good. Then again, we did have an A on Sunday Night Heat. And that is going to move us right to SummerSlam. And oh, that's right. We film on Wednesday. Duh. Well, either way, then Nerds and Geeks, this is probably one of the longer episodes of Sunday Night Heat. We did get the third thing here. What's this? Hot Property, Shane Ballard. You're 30. We're going to shortlist him and maybe bring him in as a developmental or something like that. Either way, let's look at our emails here. Just drug test fees, nothing too special. And I guess before we end off this episode, we can officially end the feud between, where the hell are they? Right to Censor and the Dudleys, which is going to end off at a C+. Everyone was handled pretty good. Wow, even Steven Richards. Except for Val Venus. Val Venus lost a lot. Either way, end storyline. There we go. And that's going to do it for this episode. So, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, nerds and geeks, don't forget to share this video with your friends, Facebook, and Twitter to help the channel grow. It really helps. And my name's been OMGWTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. And I will see you guys for SummerSlam. So until then, have a wonderful day.